Hey guys, I've got another simple repair for you. This is a MacBook that I use in some of my videos, and it's got a problem with the battery. I'm going to show you how to swap the battery out. It's a fairly simple repair. When you pull up and get into macOS, to tell the state of the battery, you're going to hold the Option key down, and then you're going to click on the battery indicator. That's going to give you a different menu than you would normally get. In this case, we can see on this guy it says Service Battery, which is why we're doing this. If you click on that, you can see the different conditions. Normal is self-explanatory, and replace soon and replace now have to do with how long a charge is being held. But service battery means there's something seriously wrong. You let it go too long, you could even get to a situation where the battery's leaking, causes a mess inside, or it just starts to fail completely when you least expect it. So after you do a time machine backup, you're going to want to shut the MacBook down and flip it over. So I'm going to do a shutdown. I'm going to pause this video while I do that, and then we're going to flip it over. We shut down, we flipped it over. The hardest part of this whole repair is having the correct tool. These screws that hold the bottom of the casing, aluminum casing onto the MacBook, are held on with a special kind of security screw known as a pentalobe screw, and you're going to need a special tool to remove that and a special size. It's a 1.2 by 50 millimeter pentalobe screwdriver. This is the hardest thing, right? You can't really improvise anything else. Removing the screws is pretty straightforward. You know, they're very small on the corners and the sides. The two in the back are different, though. The two in the back are kind of longer, so you'll want to keep them separate so you don't get them mixed up with the other ones. So these two here are the long ones, and all the other ones around are small. I'm going to pause the video. You don't need to see me take all these out. Let me remove all these screws, and we'll take the case off. Back, got these out. Like I said, these two here at the top are the long ones. All the other ones are fairly small, and I tend to just keep them roughly around when I'm working. You can also put them on a magnetic mat if you have it. To get the case off, right on this black hinge for the LCD screen, just put your finger in there and you lift up. It'll pop right off. Very simple. All right, so now what we've got, this is the battery, and what we're going to be looking for on the battery when we get the replacement is the identical number of model that we see in there currently. In this particular one, it's a model A1496. Now what you want to get is, in my opinion, is an used genuine Apple battery if you can. Unless you're going to take the thing down to the Apple store and pay full freight for a replacement. You can get people on eBay selling ones that have laptops that have died, and they've taken the battery out, and there's still a good charge to it, and you get that. The other alternative is you can get one of these Chinese knockoffs. It's a little bit more risky because if it's not a good quality one, you can end up having it be worse than just not doing anything at all here. But either way, you want the same number. Now, to get this guy out, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pull the power. There's a little plug here that you can grab. I'm going to add a light here just in case it's not fully clear. This guy right here. And what you're going to want to do is pull towards yourself. Don't pull up. You'll break this connector. It's very simple. So just pull down and forward, and this guy slides out. Now, we're done with that. Now there's screws, two in the corner, one in the middle that we need to remove. Now we can remove these guys with a standard Torx kind of bit. Just going to check here my recollection of which one fits. I'm just going to use my hand here, and I haven't bothered to get the driver. So these guys are a, let's see what the number is here. This is a T5 to take these out. So we'll just remove this guy in the middle. And then we'll remove these guys on the side. And this doesn't take too long, so I won't bother pausing the video for this. What you will find out, though, is the one in the middle and the top ones on the side are long, and the bottom ones on each corner are short. Just make a note of that as you put it back together, that the short ones go on the two lower corners. And once you get this last screw out, the battery simply lifts up and out. That's all there is to it. Got a replacement battery here that I picked up on eBay, the exact same number that's used, genuine Apple part. And we're just going to reverse the process. I like to get the screws in first before I try to reconnect it. at least on the one side. And then once I get it, where it's not going to move, a couple of these in, then we'll take this guy, we'll pull him back towards us again, we'll line him up with the connector, and then we'll push him in until he's flush. We'll put the rest of the screws on, we'll put the case back on, we'll flip it over, and we'll fire back macOS up and see what the battery status is. So just hold on a second, I'll be back. We've got it powered back on. Let's go take a look. It's not unusual if you look down here on the lower left to have to put your charger back in because the battery may have no charge at all. And then we come up the top and we see, in fact, that's the case, that we're looking at 0%. But what's most important is now when we take a look at it, we're in condition normal. So as soon as this guy gets charged back up, we should be in good shape. I like to do what's called reconditioning of the battery. There's an Apple Tech note about this where you charge it up, you let it run back down to 0%, you let it go charge back up to 100%, you let it run down to 0% again, and then after that you use it normally, and that'll help recalibrate the battery from whatever laptop usage it was in before to how yours is being used day to day. I hope this helps you out. Again, it's a simple repair. Hardest thing is to find that pentalobe screwdriver. Thanks for watching.